Welcome. My name is Matt Johnston, also known as Matt the Lawyer, and today I want to talk a little bit about what employers need to be thinking about when they're bringing employees back to work, particularly as issues related to COVID start to shift and change, and different states are in different places when it comes to whether businesses are open, can be open, limitations, and things of that. So over the next series of videos that I'm going to be presenting, we're going to talk about those sorts of things, and we're going to talk about what employers need to do. So in this video, we're going to talk about OSHA. That's the Occupational Safety and Health Act. OSHA does apply to all employers. Doesn't matter what size you are, doesn't matter what business you're in. It is a law of general applicability. Now, OSHA often involves things that are very risky. It will also deal with rules and regulations regarding cleaning chemicals or equipment or something of that nature that's at the workspace. But there is a general duty that the OSHA law requires. And that general duty is for employers to keep employees reasonably safe from known hazards. Okay? And that's an important concept to think about. It's a known hazard. So let's face it, unless you have just arrived from living under a rock for the past 6 months, you know that we're in a pandemic. And that means employers do have a known danger, and that is the COVID-19 virus. So they are obligated to keep employees reasonably safe from that virus. Now, reasonably means relative to the circumstances. What are the risks presented with your particular business? What are the risks that are associated with dealings with your customers? What are the risks that employees face when dealing with each other? This means that as an employer, you're going to have to do some assessment of the interactions between people that are at your workplace. So whether that is customers, whether that is vendors and other business type people, or whether it's the employees themselves. You have to do that general analysis. And here's the next important thing. You need to communicate with your employees. Communicate with them before you bring them back to work. Communicate with them on an ongoing basis. As information about this virus changes, you as an employer do have a duty to keep up with that, to keep knowledgeable on changes of requirements within your industry and as a general rule for employers. Okay? Now, the purpose of these following videos is to talk about accommodations, but OSHA doesn't require a specific accommodation, and it doesn't actually require accommodations at all. It requires an awful lot of communications and an awful lot of actions to keep people safe. Okay? And it's a generalized sort of thing. So while it may not apply to a specific employee, some of your safety measures may apply to all employees and probably should apply to every employee and to a lesser extent every customer who comes in. So what do the OSHA guidelines mean? They are suggestions. OSHA on their website has a whole series of posts dealing with and resources dealing with specific industry types. Everything from restaurants and retail operations to manufacturing sites, childcare centers. And these are suggestions. So unless some politician decides to get a little crazy, they are just that. They're suggestions. And not everything needs to be implemented, although everything should be considered strongly. These are considerations based upon what we know about the coronavirus and how it spreads right now. Now, these guidelines may get changed over the course of the next few months as we learn more. That's certainly normal. But just remember, safety, okay, is an obligation that an employer has, and it's reasonably safe. Now, I know some employees are going to want to say, I don't want to come back. I am too scared. Fear is real, and I get the fear. However, You are not obligated as an employer to make every employee feel completely safe. It's impossible. It is impossible to make everybody feel completely safe. You need to have demonstrated that you have taken reasonable precautions based on the circumstances of your business to keep your employees safe. While a communications plan is not specifically required by Osha, beyond some posters that they do require, I highly suggest that you have a communications plan in place for your employees. So that may mean you need to figure out how to communicate with them either by email if they're out of the office, or by phone, or some other mechanism so that you can communicate the plans that you are putting in place. We're going to be talking a little bit about some of the plans soon, and some of the things that you do need to discuss with your employees. But that's going to be for another video. In the meantime, I've put down below a link to OSHA's website where they have some of that guidance, and also a link to our scheduling application if you want to schedule a time to chat with us at the Johnston Business Law Group. In the meantime, stay safe out there, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.